Hey guys, Matthew here from MiniWargaming.com. Very impromptu video I just decided I wanted to do. The reason is because I'm feeling some anxiety over this. And not just that it's a mess. This is a Saturday in my home, and Saturday is chore days when we do our cleaning. And I happen to come down to my rec room, which I've converted over to a painting and a bit of 3D printing with a Bambu Labs A1 Mini. It's a fun little printer. And I'm just like, this is anxiety because there's this desire inside of me to hobby, to do that part of the hobby. And yet when I do it, I don't really enjoy it. So that's why I think the title of this video is going to be, I don't feel like painting anymore. And it's so funny because I absolutely love miniature wargaming. I love role-playing games. I love fantasy and sci-fi. I love reading. I love playing video games. Just such a huge part of my life. Playing D&D almost we play every Monday. We play the Fallout RPG every other Monday as well. Play with my wife, with my kids. It's such an important part of my life. And yet there's like this feeling that I have that if I'm not painting my own miniatures, that I'm doing something wrong. And I know that's not the case. In fact, I've even advocated for that over the past many, many years, as I have found that it's just not a part of the hobby that I enjoy. But most people have to do it anyways. I'm in a weird position where I own a business in miniature wargaming and we make videos about it. And so I am in a position where I need to, because of the volume of stuff that comes in, hire many painting commission studios and individuals to paint my stuff for me. But when it came to my own Tyranid army, the new Hive Fleet Nihilist, my green, yellow, orange army, there was just like this feeling like I need to do it myself, otherwise I lose this ownership. And I even painted up several thousand points of it. And I have painted like, I don't know how many miniatures, Necrons, Tyranids, War Machine, Lord of the Rings, tons of stuff over the past 17 years. And it's just like, so it's not like I've only put a little bit of time in. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I feel I'm rambling again, but that's kind of the point, is to think about these things. Like, what part of the hobbies do you really enjoy? And what do you think I should do with this space? Because I think as I've been sitting here cleaning up, I'm at the conclusion that, because this past year I was like, I'm putting in an effort, I'm going to paint a ton of my Hive Fleet Nihilists. And I painted, like I said, several thousand points. I made sure that when I went to the grand narrative that I brought 3,000 points of only stuff I painted. It was even so much in my mind that I painted stuff that I didn't need to paint. Like, for example, I wanted to bring 2 Neurolictors, but I already had 2 Neurolictors, but somebody else had painted them. And I'm like, no, I got to be the one to paint them. And so now I have 4 Neurolictors, but the rule of 3 for most match play games is that you can only bring 3. Like maybe for some narrative stuff I could bring 4, but for the most part, I'm not going to use all 4. I did the same with Termagants and Hormagaunts, where I painted stuff that I already had, because I'm like, no, I'm only bringing stuff that I painted. So that's how much dedication I put into it. And then I brought home this pile of shame, which is Harpies and Hive Crones, and more Tyrannofexes and Turbogons. It's actually some Sporocysts and Tyrannocytes as well, which I'm really excited to add to the army. And when I went to do it, I was just finding that I was lacking the passion to really want to do it. And I'm just thinking, you know what? That's just not for me. So that's why, once again, the title of this video is, I just don't want to paint anymore. And maybe I'll still do little things here and there, but this studio, which I set up with much love and it has brought me some joy, at the same time has brought me a lot of stress. And I already thought of, I was sitting here, I'm like, I want to make this video. And I'd love your advice. What would you do with this space if you wouldn't be painting? Like maybe 3D printing, maybe gaming, something else. It's like one of the few spaces in my house that I kind of can claim as my own, because I got 5 kids. And our house isn't that big, and so there's really not many spaces. I'm just like, this is my space, don't touch it. Even though you'll find paint splashed everywhere when my 3-year-old gets into this room. Even though we try to lock the door and everything, sometimes it gets left open because of other kids, or actually one time it was me too. And then she gets into the paints and pours them everywhere. And it's kind of a disaster, but what are you gonna do? It's the joy of having children as well. So what would you do with the space? Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to take all this painting stuff and bring it into work, because we do a lot of painting at work. And so it'll get used, so I don't want it to go to waste. Oh, hold on, let me point my camera properly. Some really high quality video editing going on right here. And if you're wondering, all of these things, I found these on My Mini Factory, and I just 3D printed a bunch of them, which I just love. I love the look of the painting station. You ever get that, where it's like just the purchasing of the thing brings you the joy, but then when you go to actually use it, it's not actually as joyful. I feel like there's a lot of that with 3D printing. It's like, oh yeah, I want to make this really cool thing. But then you get it done and you're like, yeah, now it's there, and you go to sit down to paint and you're just like, yeah, not really feeling it. So yeah, so here's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. So I got a light box, I got painting, I've got a 3D printer, which I'll keep for sure because I do actually just print stuff from time to time, as you can tell by the big pile of the poop that it does. Ricky, from one of my employees, introduced me to this game called Hextraction. It's a free game that you can like you drop marbles down it. And yeah, I know I've already sidetracked. And then of course there's all these like fun dragons that I love to do for my kids and my nieces and nephews and other people. There's all sorts of fun stuff to use a 3D printer for that's outside of terrain. We've got plenty of that at work. Which once again I realized how unique a position that is for somebody to be able to have. And so what I think I'm going to do, because I've been wanting to play some miniature games with my son. I have a 15-year-old son and he's really into it. And I've been wanting to play games, specifically right now, Fallout Nuka World, which is like Fallout Necromunda-ish style. It's actually made by the same guy, James Hewitt, or written by James Hewitt, which he's the one that wrote the current edition of Necromunda, so which I really like. I really, really like the current edition of Necromunda. And so it's got, you can tell that he wrote it when you play it and you see how you make your gangs and your crews and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, he's basically just taken his Necromunda ideas and applied the Fallout theme to it. And like you have special stats and all of that. So I want to play, but like we have our kitchen table. That's like the only place we can play because this winter right now, we have a sunroom, but it's basically, in the winter, obviously, it's just cold. And it's just where we throw all our garbage. It's just storage, basically. And so we can't leave stuff set up. But I don't always have a lot of time to play, like maybe half an hour here or an hour there. So I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I'll turn this into a little gaming space for my son and I, and for my daughters too, for other stuff that we play. But it's basically a gaming space where I can leave a game set up and we can have ongoing stuff going on. So I think I'm going to turn that into it. So I'll clear all of this out, bring it into work. So this whole table will be free. And the Fallout Nuka World plays on I think it's like a 2 foot by 3 foot, almost basically like this green cutting mat thing. That's basically the size of the playing field for it, although you're always welcome to go bigger if you want to. Oh, by the way, we're going to be covering Fallout Nuka World on our channel in the next couple months. I don't know exactly when because we're still working that out with Modiphius, but I'm excited for that, amongst many other things too. But I think I'll set that up right there. So what does your guys' gaming space look like? I'd love to just leave comments below. Talk to me, all right? Keep me company on a Saturday while I'm doing my chores. I'll try to get this video posted so that it's actually up and I can read comments and reply to them on the actual Saturday too. But like, what does your gaming space look like? What does your painting space look like? Heck, even hop over to our Discord. I'll put a link in the description. And to the, I'll do the Matthew Needs Help area or something. I'll post a link and then just go to that spot and post pictures and let's have a discussion about this. Give me some inspirations on what you do with limited space to make really cool gaming space. Or maybe you can just like show off, like, look at this whole room I've got, because I don't have kids or all my kids are grown up, or I'm just lucky enough to have this extra room that I can do whatever I want with. That's my dream. One day to have an entire room that I can have a really cool gaming table for role-playing games and nice setups and decorations everywhere. Like, we're trying to do stuff, like you can see, like this shelf right here, we have dragons and it gets all messed up because my kids get into it. But even my unnecessary purchases of these over the year, these are like the deluxe versions of all those, which I never ended up using. So I don't know if I regret buying them because they look real cool. Like, they give you neat maps like that of Waterdeep over there. Anyway, and see, like, there's our stuff for playing Fallout. I actually printed off these, which they store their bottle caps inside of it when we play the Fallout role-playing game. Just a little peering into it. I don't know what the point of this video is. I honestly don't. I feel I've been making a bunch of videos and I'm going to keep making them for this channel where it's just like you're going to get an inside look into my brain, which it's not always pretty. But what I can guarantee you is that I will get off track and I will ramble. So if that's what you like, then I don't even have my microphone here. So you're just getting the camera mic and whatever exposure and stuff it does. But I just talk to me. Let me know what you think, what you do, how you feel about all these things. Just give me your honest to goodness, raw reaction to what emotions am I evoking right now Are you just angry at me? Am I too privileged? Or are you like, yeah, I totally get it? Or, oh, I wish I had that, or blah, 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 blah. Anything, just anything. Put it in the comments below, because I really want to talk. I really want to get to know you guys and just make this a fun thing. This channel is meant to be just like a place for me to meet you guys and to really get to know the audience and understand what it is that makes you tick, and get in each other's heads. Anyways, I'm just going to leave it here before I ramble even longer. Have a good Saturday and a good weekend, and happy February.